Hey there, Collin Hernandez here with Laptop Entrepreneurs. I'm here to talk about what I care about, how I hope to make an impact, and how you can use these same principles in your own life. Wow, that's a pretty good intro, not gonna lie. Okay, so before we even get started about talking about building a brand, which is today's topic, I just want to talk about so right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, I got this hoodie on, and man, hoodies are sweet, dude. I love hoodies. You know what? It's like it kind of like feels like your dog is hugging you, and it's so soft, and it's like I wear hoodies all the time. I mean, I feel like most dudes have like 15, 20 hoodies because they're just so damn comfortable. I love hoodies. Anyway, okay. Building brand, which is what we're talking about today. Going along with that, I mean, building your brand is also dressing well. So really, the whole hoodie thing kind of lines up with that. So I'm not too off of that. But okay, building your brand is what we're talking about today, and why that can be useful. So first off, what is your brand? What is your brand image? So if you took a marketing class, you know about brand image, brand awareness, brand loyalty. If you don't, basically it comes down to what are all the factors that go into creating your brand. And a lot of people that's where the shift has been. Before it was all about working, the blue collar jobs and then the white collar jobs, and then now you see a bunch of entrepreneurs coming out and they're talking about all about building your brand and how you need to be on social media and stuff, which is so true, which is what we're going to talk about today. But it's more than just what you're doing on a digital presence. It's also about what kind of relationships are you creating? What kind of networking are you doing? Are you over delivering what you promise? Because over delivering plays a big role and building your brand image. I always, like with my clients and stuff like that, I always like to promise them to their expectations, knowing that I can over deliver on those expectations, like knowing that I can do more than what they think that I'm capable of. And so I'll learn things on the fly. Like I learned how to develop websites on the fly. I learned how to write articles. I learned how to create interesting graphics for flyers and stuff like that. Learn how to edit my own videos on Instagram and stuff like that, because it's really it's not that difficult in reality. Oh, midway through, I realized for YouTube I don't have this mic on, so let's go on and put that puppy on. Okay. Anyways, so it's so important in being able to build your brand, because if you don't have some sort of brand backing, how are you supposed to be able to execute in modern day life, right? Like, how is it possible that a shoe that you can buy from Old Navy is $9.99, but as soon as you stamp the Nike logo on it, it's probably the exact same shoe or material, but it's the putting the Nike logo on it, it's instantly like $120 because they built their brand, right? And so I like to think about it that way, is like, how can I build my own Nike for myself? How can I build my own Adidas for myself? How can I build my own Gucci for myself? How can I build my own Tesla for myself, or whatever? Obviously, I'm not a car. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely not a car. Maybe I am. I don't know. But reality is that I know how important it is to create a brand. As a social media marketer, I know that's exactly what I'm selling to my clients, is that basically, how can I get more eyeballs is the question I ask myself every day. And that's why I'm doing this podcast too, is because I have more, not eyeballs, but I have ears listening, or I have eyeballs on YouTube. And that's where your brand starts to kind of flourish, is having that capability to be more than what you think you are. Okay, so I hope that convinced you on what brand image is and why it's important. And so now we can actually like talk about this. So it depends what you do, right? Like your brand is important no matter what you do, but there's different ways to go about it. So I talk too much about marketing and how to do that. So I'm gonna go on a different route here. So like, let's take something that seems boring. Okay. So like a financial analyst, it could seem like it's not boring. All right, that was actually pretty disrespectful. I'm not gonna lie. It's not boring. It's just a little bit harder to market than like an influencer who is next to cars and the beach all the time, or like even a motivational speaker. Like, but I think being a financial analyst and marketing yourself can be a little more difficult. So here's what I would recommend on that front, is that think about this. Like, if you are an individual, right, and you have these certain set of needs and wants and stuff like that, you're a financial advisor. Put yourself in the customer's shoe. If you were scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever have you, What do you want to see? What would make somebody think, stop, listen to you, and like learn about what you're capable of, right? And so, like, for me personally, if I was on Instagram or whatever, and I was scrolling through and be like, oh, like I just saw that this stock is really there's a new IPO for this stock and it's selling at $30, but it's valued at 60 a share or whatever that may be. This financial advisor brought it to my attention. I'm more likely to be interested in them because I can double my money and I can talk to them about it, right? So how, as a financial advisor, staying current on those everyday things about like trends in the stock market, trends in mutual funds, bonds, what have you, is important because as you're scrolling through Instagram, your ideal client needs to see that you know what you're doing, that you know what you're talking about. And the more you throw out, this is a great strategy. And I don't think my clients know I do this, but I do this. And like if they're listening to this, this is exactly what I do. And this helps me a lot is I will just throw like buzzwords out there, like nobody's tomorrow, like SEO. They're like, what's SEO? Or like, improving your Instagram analytics by increasing your reach and increasing your impressions so that you get more eyeballs or whatever that may be. Like it's a pretty lame example, honestly, on the fly. But you know what I mean? Like throw those buzzwords, like a financial analyst, like, oh, you're gonna have a great ROI, or like this is gonna be really good for adding to your asset portfolio so that you can maximize your returns over a 5-year span because current S&P 500 is blah 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 blah, right? Like you just start throwing out like those finance terms like S&P or like, God, why am I blanking so much? Like ROI, a lot of people know ROI is, but basically think about those buzzwords like in marketing, there's like SEO, Google Analytics, Google AdWords, how low, medium, high hashtags. Like there's a bunch of stuff that like you can like talk about, like throw buzzwords that your client wouldn't really know about. And that's like helped me a lot. So like that's what I would recommend for somebody that is like a financial advisor or something like that. Is that's part of building your brand image. Is one, first off, you need to know what your market's like. You need to stay up to date with that. Like I'm constantly reading articles and watching videos about what's going on with marketing, who's doing well and stuff like that. And I'm fairly new and I get that. So I'm in a big learning process and I always will be in a big learning process, but I need to stay ahead of the curve. I need to know how can I take better pictures? How can I edit better pictures? How can I utilize hashtags a little bit better? How can I perfect this grid on Instagram? How can I run this Facebook ad to get a bigger reach and really utilize my money so that my CPC is in good PCC. Yeah. No, CP cost per click, CPC. Geez. Yeah, that's what marketing term. But yeah, like stuff like that is where you really start to build your brand image. Okay. So like, all right, let's break it down into, all right, so now that you know, like you're staying up to date, one, two is posting the content that really reaches your ideal customer. What's your ideal customer? That is so important. Like, and people talk about that all the time, but it's more like breaking it down. Like for me, I've realized that my catering is more to the youth, right? They're like seeing this 22-year-old that is, just putting himself out there and they're curious about it. Maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're just supporting, a youngster, whatever that may be. And so I cater my content around that. Like I cater it around, that 20 to 30 spot. So that that they're kind of on the same wavelength of what I'm talking about. So that's why I mentioned, guys like Elon or Gary or Grant a lot, because a lot of the youth know about them and how they've built these great companies as entrepreneurs. And it's more than creating like an accounting firm or a financial firm. It's like a little bit different, like Grant Cardone. This is a perfect example. Actually, man, this is actually super good. Like Grant Cardone, think about him. Like Cardone Capital is like a financial real estate. They're like a real estate investment firm, right? And he makes real estate fun. Like you listen to his podcast and you're just like, this guy he throws those buzzwords out. He knows what he's talking about. He tries to teach you it. And like he makes real estate fun without even he mentions the money, but he does it in such an articulate way. And he's constantly on social media. A lot of people don't do that. Like a lot of advisors don't do that. Like my biggest pet peeve as a social media marketer, and I get it, I 100% get it, is when people just post like stock photos and other people's content that they create. Like, how does that make you stand out from the rest? Like, I get it if you're an advisor and you need the charts and stuff like that, but like, throw yourself out there by making your own charts or like creating your own videos, because that's where I think you start to really relate with somebody instead of just, posting what everybody else is posting. And then I pay specific attention to that. Like, if you go on my feeds, it's all pretty genuine. I'll go and share stories of other people's posts and their story and their success stories or whatnot, but it's like, for the most part, super genuine. Um, and so I think that's where you set your competitive advantage apart, is in your brand image. And so once you start to build your brand image and credibility and people trust you and listen to you and talk to you and stuff like that, which, is something that's an everyday thing. You're never there, but at least you got to put yourself out there. Then what you can do is, when you're talking to clients, be like, yeah, like my entire Instagram portfolio, my entire LinkedIn portfolio has a bunch of great tips on how to help people increase their ROI, or help people have more money so that they can spend into real estate or whatever that may be. Like for me, like a lot of my clients as a social media marketer, my company's name is Cloud Marketing, if you're new here. Like for me, like a lot of people ask me what is some of the work that I've already done. So it's great just like scrolling through and be like, yo, look at my Instagram. Like I got these cool videos about how you can flip on eBay and make $20. And I love that. Like it's $20, but to me, I'm doubling my money. So that's how I think about it. Or like if they usually don't even look at that, honestly. It's more of the like actual work that I've done. So like pictures of the boba drinks I've taken, or the coffee drinks, or the liquor stores I've been like, or restaurants. Like I do stuff that's more in the beverage and food industry for the most part. I do have one client that's a salon. But that's kind of my niche, right? And they need to be able to see what I'm able to produce. So that goes into your brand image, right? So keep on, let's keep recapping, because I know I'm talking a lot and I'm probably talking fast. So maybe let's have a sip of the coffee and then I'll slow down a little bit. But yeah, you want, that kind of got better quick. Okay. So you want to have a brand image where you're setting yourself up in a way that's like, one, okay, what is my industry? Two, who's my ideal customer? Three, how do I create content that revolves around my ideal customer? Four, how do I follow up on that content that revolves around my ideal customer? And then it's just this repeating process of like, just push value onto these social media platforms, build your brand image so that when you do get face to face with your ideal client, like this is where my money is that I am like an 80 to 90% closer when I actually get a meeting, is because I have so much to show about what I've done. And when I first started out, the way I did it was I would do it for free. So I would do the content for free because I needed that to show other people what I could do. And I would practice and stuff like that. And so building up your testimonials in your portfolio, and like, oh, like I made this amount of money for one of my clients, Sam made this much money and Lily made this much money, or whatever that may be. And like, you're showing that you know what you're doing, that you're a capable human being to handle their money. And that's where the brand image comes into play. Like that without a doubt, no question. There's not a lot of guarantees in life, but a guarantee is that if you are branding yourself, it eventually is going to pay off big dividends, because a lot of people are scared to do it. I was scared to do it. Everybody was scared to do it. Like it's weird. Like at first when social media came out, I was like, why would I put all my information into this internet thing? Like they're going to steal my info. What if they, steal money from my bank account or whatever? Granted, I was 11, but I was making money at 11 because, again, I was selling stickers and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff like that. But then I was like, wait, I also sold on eBay. So isn't eBay technically stealing my information? And I was like, yeah, maybe that could be it. But at the same time, it's like, I know how important it is to put oneself out there. And as I've talked about, I'm all about execution along the way. Like I've always been like that. And yeah, I mean, I've had, I see on social media about people talking about execution, stuff like that, but that's just like, I live my life like that. Like it just kind of provides that umph, how does this happen? I feel like I go off track a little bit, and then I always need to backtrack because I'm like an on the fly kind of guy. I don't like to have things structured because I think it helps me grow. But yeah, brand image, important. And yeah, so that's that's pretty much what it comes down to, is like first recognizing that it's important, and also creating those testimonials, those product reviews, showing that you are capable human being of being able to produce a certain result for your client. And then the other important thing is the networking, the communicating, the talking to other people that are in your industry, outside of your industry, because you never know how along the line that person is going to come into play in your life. And that's what makes like branding so important. And I think people sleep on it too much. I think people sleep on it. There's so much room to be able to grow and to build your brand. And it's and no matter who you are, whether you're a real estate agent or you work in the fast food industry and you're trying to, brand yourself so that you can move up in promotion, or you could start your own chain or whatever that may be. It's so important. That's how people find you nowadays. Like, isn't it crazy that I can reach a group of 2,000 people in New York by clicking the button in like $15? Because that's what Facebook ads can do for you. And like that, we didn't have that. We didn't have that, when we were, at least, I think Instagram came out in 08. Facebook's been out longer, but it didn't really start to pop off as much until Facebook was the front runner, right, in like 03, 04. And then it just started to build up. But back before we were alive as millennials or Gen Z or whatever you want to call it, we didn't have that. And now that we have this opportunity right now, we have this opportunity to be able to market ourselves on a bigger scale. Yeah, dramatic pause is right. That's freaking excellent. That's excellent that we have that capability and that we can do it. So yeah, that's what I care about, and that's how I want to make an impact. And I strongly urge you to take those principles to your own life and to be able to build your own brand. And I think that you'll realize that it's a very, very important thing. Just think about it. And yeah, you know, I had fun doing this. I've been talking for like 17 minutes, and it's like just talking and spitting it out. It's kind of fun and stuff like that. Next episode 3 is to be determined. As I said, I'm on the fly kind of guy. I don't like a lot of structure. So episode 3 will be coming out soon. I think, you know what? I think I want to talk about how the same boiling water hardens the egg but softens the potato. Ooh. What could that be about? I don't know. Tune into episode 3. Thanks for listening. Collin Hernandez here with Laptop Entrepreneurs. I can't wait to share more about my experiences and how you can use these principles in your own life in order to enhance and grow and be amazing. All right. Thanks. See you later.